there's that. Now let's get on the Biz Growth Collective. Yeah, if I would just start this whole process, I've actually set an alarm for like 9:30 to begin the whole getting ready for the show thing. And that didn't work, so I bumped it up to 9:15. And now there's some things that are better prepared and almost prepared and kind of sort of prepared, but it's never enough. So, and I always have to come into this one and do the settings on the camera. There we go. Of course, it's backwards, so that's awesome. And there we go, join event. Share screen. Talk screen, that one. Boom. All right. Okay. Now we're here. There's so much that I got done over the weekend. And that's what I'm trying to talk about here as I finish getting ready for the damn show. Not quite. I still didn't fix the camera settings on this from when I was playing last week. There we go. That's enough. Hey, all right. So we'll talk about the deal that was made clandestinely yesterday. Remember last week we finished with there was going to be no deal. In fact, it was right at the end of Friday Fights. Matt and I got through everything. And we're like looking for something else to talk about. And I see this, headline that the House could not get past whatever it was they were trying to negotiate in committee to do Trump's big, beautiful deal, big, beautiful bill. Well, apparently they came back from whatever recess during the day, Sunday. And now we can look forward to budget cuts to probably include Medicaid. There you go. MAGA working for you. Also, when Jane gets here, we'll talk about the meaning of 86. If we say that we're going to 86 something, what are we saying? Bear fever update and just an overall update with everything in Boyertown. Now that I talked to my mom and I got some of it, we'll get the rest from Jane when she joins. Kid Rock closes his steakhouse. Why? To avoid ICE raids. You know all those deplorables that he and other MAGAs wanted to deport? Well, I guess he got a little bit of a kind heart and wants to save some of those illegals from being deported, especially because they help him make money. Go figure. We'll talk about 8647. That seems to be all the rage. And the hashtag. It wasn't all the rage when we were saying 8646. Which is apparently quite possibly going to happen. Former President Joe Biden's office has announced that he has an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Though it does work with a certain level of aggression, it is also apparently able to be managed. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, having met the man and served during his campaign and also his first and only term in office as president, 2 as vice president. I certainly want to see him do well for the remaining years of his life. Also, and up next, I've got to find something here first. Let's not share there. Just have me. Where else am I sharing? I think over here somewhere. There we go. Just my face for a little bit. I got. I don't like. I got to bring up Facebook, and I don't know who else is going to be, on feeds and whatever else. And this is a family show, so for those with a screen watching, yeah. Apparently, Secretary Noem didn't want to admit that Abrego's hand was doctored with the Tats MS-13. Apparently, a congressman said, "I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a bullshit detector. I'm asking you a question." Oh, I would 100% also laugh if this was happening to people on the left, if they deserved it as much as these asshats do. I'm stupefied. I am seriously stupefied with how pathetic these people are. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm pulling up my recent chats where I text myself a bunch of different notes, and I think I did this one where I thought I did this one where there we go, where I get into this Facebook fight, and I'm doing a lot better. I really am. Seriously, doing a lot better with ignoring assorted people. And as I talk, maybe do a whole window there. Let me see. Do a window. There you are. Share that window instead of the. There it is. There's that. Then over on this one. There we go. Okay. I'm doing better in not engaging in Facebook fights. However, I do kind of like to engage with this one because he's a former coworker of mine. So one might think that he actually read the document that he's sworn to protect. I mean, maybe, right? It's a possibility. One would hope. One might think. Oh, shout out from a day trading buddy. And so, I'm going to give you an example of what you do when you're leaning one or another direction politically and you find a problem in that direction towards which you lean, you call it out. It's okay. None of us are perfect. For the longest time, well, first of all, I was never really a supporter of Joe Biden. I just wasn't. He's not a bad guy. I just happen to like then Mayor Pete better, more. That's all. In part because, yeah, I do support bringing in younger leadership. And Joe has been in public service at the federal level for as long as I've been alive. Dude, take the day off. And now he's finally out and he's got to deal with cancer. That sucks. He doesn't deserve that. But when he was president, like I tried to do during Trump 1.0, I got behind him and I supported him. And yes, anybody but Trump in 2024. Because that's what really the only thing that's going to guarantee us an election in 2026 and 2028. We don't have that guarantee. Sorry, we don't. I've been right about too many other things to hold back on this now. And you can't tell me with the asshats that he's got in his cabinet, we're not moving towards that. They're sheep. Alcoholic sheep. But I was behind him. And I got the impression, too, in 2020, that it was going to be once and done. And for the age, for the stress that it puts on you while you're in office, for the opportunity to groom multiple potential candidates in the 2024, I think this is what worked best. When he decided to run for re-election, again, number one, anybody but Trump. And two, I saw someone with enough strength that I said a second term is not going to be what does him in. It's going to be the campaign. And then what happened. He decided, and I think it was also in part decided for him, this isn't going to work. We got to do better. And as such, the party decided to go directly with Kamala. I believe, in the amount of time available, that was the right decision. I'm not saying she was a good choice. I'm saying as the sitting vice president, it was the right decision. And now you roll the dice. If what we are hearing now is even remotely accurate, that his condition did not come about last summer, but had already been present, that, for lack of better terms, Dementia Joe was showing signs not of dementia, but of considerable slowing down, then without question, it should have been made public by him, and the Democratic Party should have been allowed to have a proper primary. That's what I say about the side of the political spectrum that I support right now. What you do not see from the right, because they're not capable of doing it, is showing any self-criticism, any self-evaluation. And here is a former coworker of mine who was an 1811 slash special agent, just like me, took the same oath that I did, received the same training that I did, yet says that it's not against the Constitution to receive gifts from foreign governments. This is beyond stupid to say, much less believe. They must simply be declared. Shaking my head at the level of poop coming out of her mouth, referring to one of the hosts from CNN in this particular YouTube clip entitled, "Does the CNN host have TDS?" No. She knows how to read the Constitution, among other things. And I love how he uses the F word in one line, and in the very next line he uses the word poop. You already dropped one. You might as well throw in the other. Then he tags me. Come get your daily liberal idiot. I don't know if he's calling me that daily liberal idiot or if he's telling me to come get this CNN host. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get him. Him or her, whichever. Them. I don't know what I'm going to do, and this will piss him off. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get them. Use the right pronoun. Don't go far. There will be another any second. The projection here of stupid MAGA people. This is why they're called MAGA morons. So I'm the only one of the four, all of four. And here's another former coworker. Paul Oswald was the other guy that I was talking about last week. Yeah, well, speaking of that's my reply. Glad to see that you swore to protect a document that you apparently never read. Yes, it is unconstitutional for the president to accept a gift without the direct permission of Congress. Even so, check out this video in the comment to my comment. I'm reading my comment right now, and I commented on my own comment to apply another tag that I was going to give. Check out this video in the comment to my comment on how he was mother effing Qatar only a few short 7 years ago. But the link that I put in the first comment is to the Constitution Center. The Foreign Emoluments Clause of Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 reads as follows. Over here on the left is the actual Section 9 of Article 1. The migration or importation of such persons as any blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of things in this section. So you have to scroll until you find this last one. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office or profit of trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present, emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. What is so hard about that, Ron? There it is. This is what I'm dealing with. This is the type of person that, even with all the things you see on your screen right now, mastiff.media, yergs.com, and yergs.radio, three of the many places that you can get not only audio but video of this show. And I'll highlight the part. I forgot that I can do that now. There you go. That corner. That is available, comes to you through constitutioncenter.org. It is a Philadelphia-based museum right across from Independence Hall. solely based on educating the people about the Constitution. And yes, Ron, also over here, in someone much smarter than me and you, an associate law professor at Fordham University Law School, Zephyr Teachout. She even has teach in her name. Talks about also during the Constitutional Convention and afterwards, the framers talked about corruption more than almost anything. The word corruption is written in the elegant handwriting 54 times in Madison's famous notebook from the summer of 1787. You think they weren't concerned about somebody like Trump? Maybe a little. All right, so that's enough of that. Oh, actually, no, I think I still have some more comments. I think he tried to, and what's so funny about it is that he tries to zing, and he sucks at it. And this, I think I've shown already. It's only a minute, so you might as well.
To welcome such a good friend of America to the White House. I addressed a summit of more than 50 Arab and Muslim leaders, a unique meeting in the history of nations, where key players in the region agreed to stop supporting terrorism, whether it be financial, military, or even moral support. The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me
They spoke to him
about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road, or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding and its extremist ideology in terms of funding. I want to call on all of the nations to stop immediately supporting terrorism, financial, military, or even moral support.
There you go. 2017. So what are we at now? 8 years ago? 7, 8 years ago? But there he is, telling me, you're assuming it's a bribe and not a gift. There you go again, projecting something that isn't there. But now you admit Bigfoot is... I don't know where the hell I said Bigfoot is a real thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. And see, this is the ego that these people have. Oh, it's Bigfoot. I would have seen it by now. You got to leave your driveway, dude. These people run around saying, make America great again. They haven't left their county, let alone seeing what the rest of the country's like, not to mention other countries. So I typed back to that. He says, you think admit Bigfoot is a real thing? And he says either size or he misspelled signs. There may be a fragment of hope. First of all, if that's what he's saying, I have no idea what he's talking about. These MAGA people mumble stupid things to themselves, and they think that everybody else is going to understand their drunken babble. I don't get it. So my reply back, and then that was it. Oh, crap. Oh, I just clicked on something else in it. There we go. Okay. Phew. Um, I said, I gave you citations from a museum dedicated to the document you clearly have not read. You give me a sigh or a misspelled sign, and I'm not assuming anything. If a $250 million can get Felon Musk out of his OIG investigations, that's what Musk spent on the campaign via Doge. I don't know if you're aware of this, but most of the organizations that Elon Musk shut down were investigating his companies for various contractual violations. Yeah, that's not a conflict at all, I guess, right? So if 250 million can work for Elon, then I'm sure that 400 plus million is good for something. And in case he went back and edited the size to signs, I included a little screen grab. And that's what happened when you put him in his place. He goes to something else, and he did. He's citing something else now and tagging me in that too. And I'm just like, I don't want to block the guy. We're not friends. I lost everything with with Hurricane Helene. He never called to say, "Hey, are you okay? Can I do anything?" Like plenty of other former coworkers did. He never called. He doesn't call to say hi. He's got my actual phone number. He doesn't text me. He just likes starting things like this on places like Facebook. And usually I do actually ignore it because, frankly, I got too much other stuff to do. But it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like compelled to put this knucklehead in his place. Or is he like trying to be funny and he just sucks at it? I don't know. Maybe he just, I don't know. He probably just does this stupid stuff. So I talk about him on my radio show. Here I am talking about it. So I guess it worked. Well done. Congrats. You had your, I don't know, what was that, 10 or 15 minutes of fame? If that's what you want to call it for this. I mean, I don't know that I have really that many listeners yet. We're still kind of new. We are giving a shout out to some friends in Las Vegas listening on K-Shop. Put that up for those. That is the homepage, by the way. That's what I did this weekend. Mastiff.media. Place where we can all learn about not just Mastiff.media, but all of the things that are the Yerger Group. Where is that? I want to get rid of this lower third. There we go. I'm just going to put myself down in that corner, show you the entire screen. I gotta open up something else, some other documents that I do for the show and kind of keep me in line. There's that one, and there's that one. All right. My list of affiliates, people that I gotta give a shout out to. They're not sponsors because I don't get money from them, but I do get various services, like my gym is one, and so on. And then minimize that one. That's my to-do list for later today. And then my show notes for today, which, by the way, something else I'm stoked about. Oh, I can't wait to show you this website. So it's by Wix, and I've never been a fan of Wix. However, it did save my ass. The kid that I hired to do the mastiff.media web page, literally just one page, was supposed to be like Linktree. You know, you Linktree, you have one link and then it spits out, you know, it's a page that spits out all kinds of other links to the rest of your social media platforms. It's an easy way for you to give one web address and people can find everything else you got. That's what the original mastiff.media was supposed to do. And I used Linktree as an example. What do you think he puts at the top in the banner, that brown line that you see at the top there? Linktree. Like, really, dude? When Linktree sees this, they're going to get pissed. So, with everything that's happened that we're going to talk about right now, promise you we're going to get to everything before Jane gets here. I needed something to be a central location for all of my stuff. And the guys at Dare Media and Kate at Dare Media have a very good functional site as well. And it's through Wix. I'm like, okay, you know what? I looked them over. Originally, when Wix first came out, what you would read right now, it's like a Facebook page. It would read wix.com/mastiff.media. I don't want it to see Wix. I want it to be mastiff.media. And that's what it is now. So this is the homepage. And right on the homepage, look at that, is a video player for every time that we go live. All you have to do is go to mastiff.media. And there it is on the homepage. When we're not broadcasting video, there's just a screen there that displays our Twitch account. This is actually coming in through an application that Twitch and Wix got together. And it's the same type of app that is on Yergs.com. So that's the homepage. Simple. You're not there long. You're not supposed to be there long because you go to these places up here. And there will be more of these coming soon. This is a bio on me, Yergs. There's my psycho look in the background. Why Yergs, about Yergs, and how to contact Yergs. Our stations. Now, what do you see there? That is more than what you know about, isn't it? Well, there's Yergs Radio. And what that does, that's actually opens to a page about Yergs Radio. This logo here in the center is a button. Click on that. And it gives you the player. This logo here in the center. Oh, see, yeah. I got to stop it already because it plays the show. That's Yergs Radio. That's what's playing on Yergs Radio, and that's us right now. And there's a little blurb about Yergs Radio, and that is actually for contacting Yergs Radio. At the bottom, I see a typo. On air has a capital I on it. So there's one. We have a sports talk station coming soon, and it actually has been branded. We have a name coming. I don't reveal those names until we get the URL. So you can't steal it. I'm talking to whatever knucklehead out there would try to do something that's stupid. So a sports talk station. Did I say that right? A sports talk station is coming soon. Of course, there's rainbowradio.gay. That takes you to the site. No. This is the page here. This button either takes you to the broadcast thing again or to the site. Let's find out. That's the actual site. So because this is with BR Logic, as is Yergs Radio, that membership that streaming company's membership gives you a Wix-esque website per station. What I don't like about BR Logic is that the analytics are not what they could be. And so we'll be switching all that over to where the sports talk is already set up. It's like I said, we're not finished branding it. And also this station down here, Forward Radio. We'll skip one in a minute. Forward Radio for the left of the political spectrum, and you already know about Right Talk Radio, currently hosted by our friends in Australia for the conservative side of the political spectrum. And you'll notice each hand holding a microphone. Right Talk Radio, if you look closely and realize what you're seeing, that's a right hand. For Forward Radio, you're seeing a left hand. Pretty cool, huh? So, out now, ish, coming soon, sorta, is Forward Radio. That is a button too. Where does that take us? That's to the player. Okay, so you can listen to us. We do broadcast to this. And we're the only thing that broadcasts to it right now. But feel free to listen to us on forward.radio. This is what made me late today. I'm finished talking with Mom. I've thrown out there to the world what's happening. Everybody knows to come tune in. Thanks to everybody on social media. That was my cousin. Yeah, that was my cousin and her husband. I don't know what the hell goofy ass face is. That's her daughter and her girlfriend. My first cousin once removed is a lesbian, Ashley. And that's her partner there. I guess they're all mini golfing, goofy golfing. Where was I going with all that? Oh, so I'm all ready to go. And I'm launching through Facebook and other social media what's happening today, so you all know to tune in. And I see an email. I run to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. Never just in the bathroom. I'm always doing something, so I'm checking my email. And there are not one but 3 emails from the Dot Radio people in Europe. This past weekend, I bought the forward.radio URL. But to get the discount, you have to get this code from them that they issue. They review your profile and so on and so forth. I got to talk to Jane. Oh, Jesus. I usually text her on a Sunday, and I didn't. And I thought, okay, well, I'll text her in the morning. Well, I got 13 minutes left of the morning. So anyway, I had to complete this purchase because, I don't want to risk losing it, or the code that they give you, the coupon code of sorts. I didn't want that to expire. And then I wait however much longer again before they get back to me with a new code. So I complete the purchase, and I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well redirect it to the page on Mastiff Media, which is what I did. And it didn't work right away because the issue with secure socket layers. I know if Jay's watching right now or listening, and the guys from Dare Media, there's a time joke between the group of us with me and SSL certificates. I fixed that. If you go to forward.radio, this is where it will take you to this page of the Mastiff Media website. And if you click on the fist, you see the finger pointing there. That means that it is the logo is a button. And like I did a moment ago. Oh, there it is. There's a player. I don't know what's in that background of that player, but it fills your whole screen nicely like this. There's the logo. And there's tomorrow's answers today, forward.radio. There you go. That's the tagline. So that's the stations, and then there's a contact tab. These are actual buttons. The logos for Yerg's Radio and rainbowradio.gay are the two toll-free numbers to the studio. You can click those buttons. It will actually call through your computer if you have such an application. It's got our office toll-free number, and then the 1-888-88 Yergs and 844-GAY-LGBT. And then the email is news, newz@yergs.com. There are 3 more tabs. Actually, there's 4 or 5 more tabs that are coming soon. In addition to our stations, there'll be a tab for our shows, a catalog of all the shows that are on the various stations, our presenters or on-air talent. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. They're not DJs because they don't spin any discs. It's all talk. Every station is talk. But there'll be another tab for all of us personalities that you can learn about each of us. Then there's our affiliates. We're going to put a logo and a link to everybody that supports us here at Mastiff Media, to include, of course, Dare Media. I can never remember what his is. Hold on a second. I got to look up Jay's. Unheard. Jay Flanagan, the one guy that came on recently. He's kind of he is a consultant, but right now for us, the business relationship, he's just a team member, because he's got stations too. So we'll put that up and support him. K Shop in Vegas, UG Media. I got an announcement for that one coming in a second. Another announcement we found. We got talking with America One Radio again. We got that fixed. We're not on live there, but I think what they will be able to do, there was something with the feed, and so they had to replace us, and they just never did it on the schedule, the posted website schedule. So, speaking, I want to check the one before we lose them. So what he offered was a different time of day, but it would be all 10 hours of the week. And it's better than nothing. And if you did have an issue with it, I would prefer that a station, like any station, gets all 10 hours of the show, as opposed to just sporadic. Because I don't want to tell you at the end, like I'm going to have to do right now with K-Shop. I don't want to have to tell you, hey, you're going to lose us in 8 minutes. Leave this station and come over to Yerg's Radio or Mastiff.media or wherever. I want you to stay on that station. I want you to support them the way they support us. But I also got to let you know that you're going to get a different show in 7 minutes. So yeah, K-Shop. Let's tune into them quick. And the other thing I'm learning, I just realized, Mark, if you're listening, you and I have a mutual friend, a very beneficial mutual friend. Everybody at K-Shop has the opportunity, as now does Mastiff Media, to get into a very technically savvy product that's being offered. Yep, we're on. There's that one. That's good. And I'm not going to say what it is over the radio because it's proprietary. Mark knows what I'm talking about, because it's the only thing I'm pretty sure that's a huge technologically savvy, beneficial, high-tech, advanced, cool thing. It's going to be easier for him to get it than what he originally thought. because we're hoping that he would partner with us and we'll split the costs of this development. So I actually got to call him later today. I got a busy afternoon. God. So that's Mastiff Media. We have a branded sports station now. Like I said, I'll be announcing that once I get the domain. And that is, that is, I gotta, yeah, there's a lot I can't talk about. But that's what my afternoon, evening, and rest of my week's going to be doing. Forward Radio has been branded. You saw that. They're all available at mastiff.media. That's why that's what's all over the mastiff.media minivan, because it sends you to one place. All right. And by the way, Joe Biden has cancer. Was that a little too insensitive? I mean, we talked about that. I think it sucks. I'll talk about it a little more. Obviously, I'm not getting to all this prior to Jane coming on, if she comes on today. I mean, I feel so bad. God damn it. I feel like such a dick. Well, let me take a break so I can message her. And then maybe we'll, and if we don't, I'm not going to fault her at all. This is my fault. But welcome to my life. And, we got probably Superfan Ken in the comments. Kid Rock making an ass out of himself. And all that. This is Up the Middle on the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after these words. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym. But not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching. Dunk tanks. Sauna. Everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum. Is the commercial over already? What the hell? I thought I was faster than that. Well, hey everybody, back from commercial. Let's see what's in the. I barely got to mix a fraction of a cup of coffee. Oh, son of a bitch. Let's see. We're still on YouTube, but we're back on Talk TV 20 just because I still haven't fixed Rumble. But that'll. So for those of you on YouTube, remember, mastiff.media. Ron refers to Abby Phillips, the host of that show, TDS, and Trump. Yeah, I know TDS is Trump derangement syndrome, which is something that Trump and MAGA supporters have. Others don't care for Trump and don't idolize Trump, which would be in the line of deranged and upset. Oh, I should put this on the screen. Hello. There we go. Others don't care for Trump and don't idolize Trump, which would be in the line of deranged and obsession. But then again, education is very important. So I don't agree. Superfan Ken He is saying that Ron is saying size as in the action that he's doing. I don't think so. Where'd it go? Remember, my friends, do not pay to be on a header in a group or pay to belong. I don't know what that means. Joseph often posts some cryptic things in that group. I think it's up here. I think it's up here. I think it's up here. Yes. All right. So I don't agree, Ken. I think he's supposed to be signs. So what you're saying is that he is saying size, comma, there may be a fraction of hope, which that fits, and maybe you're right. But I'm thinking he's left out the word that, which would then read signs that there may be a fraction of hope. And the key thing about that is the letter that you would be switching is the H to an N, and they're right aside of each other on the keyboard. So either one fits, and I don't know. They both work. But the point of that being, it's just like he's just trying to pick a fight to be a douche. I mean, it would be okay if it was funny. Like there was this other one. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's been recent enough. See that there's the one that we're talking about now. That's the other agent that, it's one thing, you're conservative, great, be a conservative. That's fine. But you don't have to be a douche. You can be an honest conservative and realize that your party sucks right now. I think it was this one. This is funny too. Oh, no, that's the same. Let me see what else we got here. Hopefully, I got to scroll through this whole thing again to possibly find this one. Is it this one then? Yeah, here we go. So this is funny too. I don't know what this lady is doing or what this picture is, but I guess, it's the little girl was having an issue, and I don't know if that's her mom in the picture. Oh, hold on. I got to realize I'm not always sharing. So he tags me again. Here's one of your liberal fans yelling at a 3-year-old. Check your Patreon list. Well, I'm not on Patreon, but okay. Whatever. I pretended that I was, and I said her username is Mrs. Owens. So there's 2 reasons I don't know her. Mrs. and any friend of his. So he writes back, I saw in your friend's profile with a hideous mustache. All right, now get ready. Get ready, because here's where the gloves come off. You ready? I said that wasn't a mustache. Your mom had doo-doo on her face from eating my ass. And once again, every time I slam him with something a little more solid, he lets go. So I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to have to get this one too. I'll put this in the show notes so you guys can all copy and enjoy and like it. Like my comments. Just all of you go in and like my comments or slam him back. I'm going to send that to myself so I can put it in the show notes later. And by the way, one of the things coming on Yerg's Radio, on mastiff.media. So I got both of those, right? Yeah, I got the links to both of them. Okay, yeah, I'm getting rid of this tab because it's just going to annoy me. One of the things coming on, I got to save that one though, because Well, actually, it's in the Facebook post, but I'll keep it there. One of the things coming is a blog tab on mastiff.media. And she must not be coming. It's 5 minutes after 12. She would have been here by now. That's it. Take the day off, girl. You deserve it. She's got so much other shit going on. And we're past 12 o'clock now, so we're off terrestrial radio stations. So I can loosen up a little bit. Yeah, Biden is diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer. The first time I saw this over the weekend, I think I got to let a puppy out. All right, give me a second. We're going to put, I didn't get to do a live spot because I got caught with my pants down totally. Puppy break. We're back on there. All right, gang. So I wanted to put the fight hypocrisy. Oh, I think I have it. The fight hypocrisy background. Nope, I only get the one up. I wanted to put the fight hypocrisy up because what's his name? Kid Rock. He's all for supporting illegals. Apparently, except for the ones that overlays the video, except for the ones that help run his restaurant. Those can stay. Oh, you make me money? You can stay. I think it's I just uploaded the same one. I think it's that one. I just uploaded another fight censorship. There we go. Fight hypocrisy. There we go. Only thing that I learned that it is mating season in Florida for alligators. So there's that. And my dogs are out back by themselves. I mean, it's fenced in, but you can still get into the backyard from the water, which is where they come from. And the only reason they would actually be in salt water is because horny, they're taking a bath, or they're lost. And in this maze of channels, it's easier to find. So, while we got music done, let's do one of the overdue live thoughts. Mastiff Media is now on Discord. I don't have the URL, I'm not gonna lie. and it's a goofy ass one. It's not an easy one, so I'm not going to try to give it out to you. But if you watch in video, scan that QR code right there on the screen. You join us on Discord. You can, if I'm paying attention to it, you can comment through that. I see that's what Superfan Ken is, and that's it for right now. I mean, it's new. And we're getting it out there. Also, check this out. I got to get the book over 40 from Ken, Philip Blackett, and also Joseph's The Broken Mirror of Memory, Iraq, and Other Tales. Because Mastiff Media has a marketplace. I can sell these books for my friends and people who support me. And I certainly want to do that for Joseph as well as Philip. So scan that QR code if you want to get it now. What I'm going to try to do is find out what his prices are, what his costs are. He's self-published, I think he said. I'm kind of thinking about doing the same thing. And maybe if I get some ideas from his, I can do that on my own without stealing his ideas. It's called plagiarism, right, Benny Johnson? Shout out to Benny, the fired journalist Johnson. And today, I'm also going to the gym. I'm so stoked. I've worked out my schedule while the folks at Mates Helping Mates are playing. I really can't use my system because I've got to import their show from a server or from a web browser and put it back out over our network. So Mates Helping Mates will give me time to go to the gym, and that will be the daily schedule. Scan that QR code or just stay right here for 4 p.m. today, 4 to whenever I get home, at least 5 o'clock, quite possibly later. The Daily Crypto News is hosted by my Friday co-host, Matt Deemer. It's a daily thing. I'm also going to be soon doing better about getting that into, I think, something else we have here. No, it's not on that. I thought we had a thing for one of the QR codes for SF Media Magazine, but I might have taken that down because I got so much others. Biz Growth Collective. Scan that QR code or go to bizgrowthcollective.com. We advertise. Yeah, we advertise. We broadcast there also. Just this show, not the other programs. But that's a live video show like Discord, and is interactive like Discord, although both of them are not interactive together, unfortunately. It's at least, that is there. That is there for you. Scan that. That is the next LinkedIn. I promise you. That is the next LinkedIn without a doubt at all. That's it. Let me see. I got to reset a clock here because we're starting hour number 2. Let's see. That much amount on it. Start. Yeah, if only I would listen to this other clock, which tells me how long I'm supposed to be doing a segment for. Might be on schedule. Dope. All right, so up next, we're going to compare 8647 with something else that was all the rage not long ago. Something else that was something else that was all the rage not long ago. What was that? 8646. Now I gotta go back and I closed out YouTube or Facebook. Damn it! I think I might have one of the links on there from what I told you earlier about sending stuff to myself to better take notes during the course of the day. Oh, I could use this on the show tomorrow, that kind of thing. Just inbox. Come on, give me my stuff here. Let's go. There's that one. Comedian answers. This was brilliantly done. So that was another thing. I've got the whole show planned, ready to go. We're going to get out there and have a good show today. And I take that walk this morning, and I'm listening on YouTube to a comedian that I think is pretty funny, a guy named Stephen Hostetler. Hostet, I don't know. German-Irish ginger. Funny as hell. He did a really outstanding, at the end of his set, when a comedian gets up and does their whole routine, it's called a set. There's lesser known comedians that open for them. He actually travels with some colleagues who go and do their thing. So it's a group package when you schedule him for your comedy club. And they finish doing the set, and then they do a Q&A type thing. And this one person, you write down the question on paper, fold it up, put it in a hat, that kind of thing. So there's, if needed, a level of anonymity. I actually said that word okay. I usually stutter through that word. And I just switched to anonymousness, which is not a word, I don't think. But it provides a level of anonymity. And I know that because they don't give a name when they address this person. But the person said, I support people to be who they are, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. I just don't understand what it's like to be trans. Could you, being a more progressive person, explain it to me? And also the use of pronouns such as they and them. He said, well, that's very easy. I'd be happy to. And they explained, which is accurate. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk to Jane about today. I mean, I can save this for next week easily. Pronouns are, they and them are not just, contrary to popular belief, they're not just plural. And the example he gave, I got pulled over and the cop really chewed me out. And you might say back to them, back to me, what did they say? One cop. But we would very much use what did they say, especially when you don't know the sex of the cop. I've been pulled over twice since Christmas, both by the Florida Highway Patrol, both a female trooper. And in fact, it was the same female trooper. The first time was the first time was last summer, and she didn't pull me over. She stopped when I hit that curb and got that flat tire, 2 flat tires. I was on my way to WMNF, the public radio station in Tampa, to be interviewed by my friends there. And of course, I missed the interview because I had the accident. Came back 1 or 2 months later, and it was great. But she just so happened to be coming along, and a dark black van with hazards on, but that's it. So she sat behind me till the tow truck got there, and we just kept me safe. Fast forward to after Christmas, I had been busy with some therapy stuff and other things. I never took the time to get my car registration completed, which would have been the month prior in November. And she noticed that and pulled me over, and she recognized me from the accident. So yes, there are quite possibly very productive, very skilled female police officers. So he uses an example to say why you would use the pronouns they and them for a singular person. Okay, we check that box. Moves on to the trans thing. And the question was, how is it not like multiple personality disorder, which is a known and recognized mental illness? He said, well, among other things, scientists and doctors who spend their entire career studying these types of situations have said transsexuality is not a mental disorder. And because they're scientists and doctors and do that for a living, I believe them. If that doesn't make any sense to you, and I'm in the middle of walking through my neighborhood, and all of a sudden I just crack up laughing. He says, if that doesn't make any sense to you, then the next time your car breaks down, take it to your florist. Because if you don't see going to an expert to fix an expert problem or answer an expert question, take it to anybody. And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so that's that one. I get talking about this stuff and I remember it. I'm not on the screen. That's him there. Okay, that's not working. Do that one. For those of you on radio, I'm trying to set this up so that it's not. Let's do it like that because he's over on the other side. There we go. So that's Steve Hofstetler, something like that. Let me open a new tab as soon as I can pronounce his name for you.
We do have kind of a hard,
this is the actual. Yeah, this is the actual link. I'm not going to go through that. But like I said, at the end of his set, he does what's called a Q&A. Well, you know what a Q&A is, but he does a Q&A. Steve Hofstetter. And funny guy. So back to scrolling up through, because I think I've got something in here about the 86-47 verse 46. This is an interesting thing. 5 psychology facts about best friends. It was pretty cool. That's Alexander Skarsgård talking about his gay uncle. Which one is this? Come on, Brian. Which one is that? Something from Brian Tyler Cohen that I obviously wanted to talk about today. Video. Yes. This is kind of, I don't think we're going to get to it today. But apparently the pro-Trump candidate in Romania lost rather handedly this past week. And that is just another indicator of what's to have. That's the one from Ron Owens. We talked about that. Here it is. That's one of them. And that's one of the live stream. That's for the forward link. Here we go. So one of the posts that has been made recently is by this guy. Within a couple years, January 29th, 2022. Just 2 simple numbers from Jack Posobiec, or whatever the hell is. Wow. Jack Poso is his pen name, I guess you would call it, if the actual call sign is his full last name. For those on radio, it's Posobiec. is the full last name. Jack, at Jack Posobiec, whatever it's pronounced. I don't care. But there it is. 86-46. Joe Biden is the 46th president of the United States. Did anybody get their panties in the water over that? Was it on Fox News? Was it on CNN? Did anybody care? Did you even know about it? I didn't. And I follow this stuff. But when you type in 8647, good Lord, do people's pussies hurt? Where's one? Well, I don't think it's there. I think I got to find it in my inbox. So you'll have to give me a second. A recent post by a fellow content creator and journalist. I don't know, remember which it was. And I don't remember when it was either. So this is going to suck. And I didn't get a chance to flag it like I wanted to. Mr. There's David Packman. See, I don't know on which platform I saw it either. Did you guys hear about that Mexican training thing? Oh my God. So last week, Friday, he tweeted, and let me share. Well, actually, let me put it over there because I think we're pretty much always sharing the screen. The Krasensteins are two brothers that are journalists. I gotta change something here on the one because I'm sharing a window, not a screen, not an entire screen. There's that one that's on that, and where's entire screen? Boom. Okay. Fixed. Breaking from the Krasensteins. These are two twin brothers. I think they're twins. The backstory with these guys, they did some investment thing. And long story short, they got investigated by the Secret Service 8 or 9 years ago, maybe longer. They were found to have been not guilty and caught up in it somehow that they were, for all intents and purposes, innocent. Maybe not totally innocent, but not guilty, bottom line. And so now they're off record with the Secret Service already. There's that. But he sends us email out talking about Trump admin sends Secret Service to my home for tweeting 8647, a known call for impeachment. Here's the story. This afternoon, the United States Secret Service showed up at a door at the request of the Trump administration. Why? Because I tweeted the number 8647, a common protest slogan used by Democrats, call for the impeachment or legal removal of Donald Trump, the 47th president. No threats, no violent rhetoric, just a number. In fact, in the tweet thread, I blatantly stated that I never support violence in any way and want him removed from office legally. And they still came to talk to this guy. The agents, it was a little wordy, but the agents too showed up, told me that they were, quote, sent from Washington. And after explaining it to all of them, they appeared to understand that I wasn't calling for anything close to the president's assassination. This is Ed. For the record, I am 100% against violence in any form. Stop creating bogus meanings to try and investigate your political opponents. 8647 means remove Trump from office. If you are creating any other meaning, you are the ones who are going to end up inciting the violence. Yeah. I tried to do the paid membership with these guys, and I paid my $5 or $10 for whatever it was, and I didn't get anything. So I'm like, I'm not going to pay you to get just the free shit. I'm not that stupid. Apparently, that was enough for the Trump administration to summon federal agents to my home, claiming I had threatened the president's life. What's really happening is Trump admin is changing the definition of a number in order to intimidate and squash the free speech of someone calling for his impeachment. Let me be clear. Let me be crystal clear. 86 is well-known restaurant slang for removing something. 47 refers to Trump as the 47th president. Put together, it means remove Trump from office legally, peacefully, and through democratic means, like impeachment or the 25th Amendment. Either is very likely or legitimate or necessary. The number has been used at rallies, protest signs. Even James Comey, the Republican-appointed former FBI director, posted it on Instagram. That's what triggered MAGA's meltdown. They know what it really means. But truth isn't what they're after. It's control through fear. I've been saying this. Oh, people, you need to listen to me. These are the same people who sold 8646 t-shirts to call for Biden's impeachment. The same folks who say murder, figuratively, all the time, truth, on social media without consequence. The same influencers twist words like woke, CRT, and DEI into weapons to stoke division. 100%. Dude, you actually might get me to re-up my membership if you finally talk to me. And now they're trying to turn a protest slogan into a criminal offense. Let's not kid ourselves. I have been saying this. This is what authoritarian looks like in the early stages. This isn't early. He's been doing this. Weaponizing federal power to harass political critics, manufacturing outrage to silence dissent, treating peaceful protest as a threat. It's a threat because it's going to work, and it's going to take your ass out, Donald. And when I say take your ass out, I mean out of office where it belongs. So now, because you would think his email to his followers and the post on Facebook, on Twitter, would be enough. Would you not think that? No. Didn't this guy go bankrupt? Alex Jones feels he has to weigh in on the situation. Alex Jones threatens us an unhinged rant over 8647. Conspiracy broadcaster lashes out after the Secret Service visited me for tweeting the impeachment slogan, 8647. The spark, a 4-digit slogan, not a death threat. The other day, the number 8647, a restaurant. Hold on. Check 1, 2. Oh, came back fast today. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes my audio interface shits out and you hear that static. I don't know why that does that. I got to talk to somebody to. Okay. So the other day, the number 8647, a restaurant slang twist, 86 equals dump boot paired with 47, Donald Trump's presidential number, went viral after former FBI Director James Comey posted it on Instagram. Progressives have long used this shorthand to mean impeach or remove the 47th president. MAGA influencers promptly reinterpret it as a coded call to assassinate Trump. And let's be clear about that. People were saying this is the third time that he would have been an assassination attempt. I don't believe, my opinion, I don't believe that there was one attempt yet. I think the one over the summer in Butler is hinky at best, because your ear is cartilage. Cartilage doesn't grow back. It doesn't grow back, yet his ear's fine. And then the one at the golf course never happened because the agent got to the guy. Nicely done. Real presidents go through things like that all the time. Alex Jones, volume up, facts down. Yeah, that's well said. I like that. On his latest likely intoxicated selfie video, and I'm watching it over my other screen too. He's in his kitchen, I think, or his workshop or something. Looks like a pretty nice house for somebody who lost everything over $1 billion lawsuit. On his latest likely intoxicated selfie video, Jones devotes a segment to supposed plot. What followed was an expletive laced rant that veered from name calling to barely veiled threats. Below are verbatim excerpts, profanity partially redacted for clarity. And so he partially took out the van, but he wants to be clear as what's being said, I think is what. One of the two little devil twins, Ed Krasenstein, came out yesterday. It's not like the left's calling for Trump's death. It's not like he got shot in the ear. You little thugs, you little bullies. He didn't get shot in the ear. That's ketchup. I've seen a lot of blood. I've never seen it that bright after being exposed to too much oxygen. No. People sit through this, and you leftist bullies' reign of terror. We're sick of your stuff. If somebody kills Trump, we didn't mean it. We just said 8647. Well, if he gets killed, blah, blah, blah. We're not suggesting that. You better believe you'll be held responsible. You understand, F-heads. It's a two-way street, punks. I got to listen to this. You little wimps think you can just mess with people all day. We're taking back our country. You never had it. You never lost it. You just didn't take part in it. You're losing it and you know it. You're in your death throes politically. Yeah, did you hear me talk about Romania 10 or so minutes ago? Doesn't sound like it to me, Jack. Why Jones's framing collapses under its own weight. Selective outrage. MAGA personalities have sold 8646 merch for years. 8646 meaning impeach Biden, without threatening it as a murder threat, or without treating it as a murder threat. Dude, my eyes are watering from allergies. And I'm seeing words that aren't there. Legal reality. Incitement requires a direct call to imminent violence. You know, like your president did on January 6th. Remove from office slogans, no matter how smug, don't qualify. What does edge toward incitement is threatening to hold political opponents responsible, quote unquote, if Trump is harmed. Correct. Number 3 is the intimidation playbook. Conflating impeach with assassinate, then dispatching federal agents, echoes a broader right-wing tactic. Redefine language, brand dissenters as violent, and chill speech through state power. The bigger picture. Jones's rant isn't just performative rage. It normalizes the idea that violence is a justified response to political slogans. Coming from a host of already found liable for defamation over Sandy Hook, the stakes are higher than typical talk radio bluster. Meanwhile, the Secret Service visit has had a predictable Streisand effect. 8647 is now trending even harder, and dozens of posts are resurfacing MAGA's own 8646 paraphernalia to highlight the double standard. What's up there? What's in the corner of your screen? Hashtag fight hypocrisy. Bottom line, a 4-digit meme about lawful impeachment has been spun into a pretext for threats against critics. Alex Jones's tirade crystallizes how the online right is manufacturing grievance to excuse intimidation. But the math remains simple. 86 does not equal kill, and 8647 does not equal terrorism. That's what that sign means, by the way, the equal sign with a line through it. Does not equal. Remember that from math class. Unless free speech itself is now a crime. That is from Ed Krasenstein from the Krasenstein brothers. Somebody just bleeped on. And you can get them. I'm trying to find their email. Krasenstein, KRASSENSTEIN, at substack.com. And I'll put this email. I don't know how you can share it without giving my personal address out. But maybe I'll just cut and paste it into the email, which, by the way, let me remind you, now you can get show notes at mastiff.media. Let me see who's backstage here. Oh. Hey there, can you hear me? It's Jane. I don't know, you're seeing a black screen on hers. I felt so bad. And Jane, if you can hear me, I can't see you, and I'm not hearing you either. Don't feel bad that we missed today. This was my fault. I wanted to message you yesterday, and then also this morning. So that, like I said, don't feel bad at all. That's my fault. Let's see. Let's go back to do some comments while. Back to the Ron Owens story. Sounds like Ron don't have any comebacks, which a lot of keyboard warriors tend to do. Yeah. I got to admit, I'm pretty good at that. Oh, there she goes. All right, maybe she'll come back. Wasn't there something about the Brooklyn Bridge? Yeah, and here's the thing that all these MAGA people who are all about life and safety. There was a sailing ship that apparently is also under motor power that is a training vessel by the Mexican Navy. So young Mexican sailors, 200 plus of a crew, were aboard this ship. We have one in the Coast Guard called the Eagle. I had a tour of it during my time in the Secret Service. Earlier on, it was docked in, I want to say, Alexandria. Yeah, it was in Alexandria, Virginia. And I was assigned to the niece of President Bush, George W. And, or maybe it was either a niece or maybe it was one of his daughters. No, it was one of his nieces. And I set up a tour for her because she wanted to do some things like that. And they're like, well, we don't usually do that, but considering you are who you are and who her dad or her uncle is, yeah, we'll set you up. So we had a tour of the entire ship not just the tour, but the entire ship from the commander. Yeah, that was pretty cool. The commanding officer of the Eagle gave us a tour, and it's a sailing ship. And it is a vessel that young cadets, young sailors, use to learn aquatic navigation, ocean navigation, and sailing. And this Mexican ship was on the East River coming into New York and crossing under the Brooklyn Bridge. And there was like I think 120 some foot clearance for 140 some foot mass height off the water. Well, do the math. And somehow that didn't end well. And MAGA people are making all kinds of fun about it. And the irony of an American iconic structure like the Brooklyn Bridge taking out a Mexican ship. And I guess I could see the jokes in that if two people didn't die. And that's what I'm saying about these people who claim to be all for life and preservation of life and so on. We have a foreign military guests to our country, and something like that happens, and that's how you call yourselves patriots. That's not patriotism. That's not even close to patriotism. I mean, not even, you can't even graciously call that patriotism. So, yeah, that's what happened in New York over the weekend. I thought this was actually a well done story from one of the Fox affiliates. I got to find something about the Kid Rock thing too, because that's hysterical. But this is one of the Fox affiliates. I'm not sure which one. Maybe it's Fox News. It's just Fox News talking about Biden's diagnosis with cancer. Yeah, I got to say, this, for what I saw of it, I didn't see the whole thing. But from what I saw of it, they did this with class.
Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of metastatic prostate cancer. His personal office releasing a statement saying the following. Last week, President Joe Biden was seen for a new finding of prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasis to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management.
Dr. Randall Lee from Fox Chase Cancer Center joins us now. Dr. Lee, thank you so much for joining us on this horrible news moment. Help us understand this diagnosis and the treatment that he will receive.
Thanks for having me, Todd and Carly. I mean, I think before we...
So I had no idea who those anchors were. That's why I thought this shows you how much I watch Fox and whatever this show is. Yeah, I was expecting Brian Kilmeade, and whoever that one over makeup done chick is. It's now going to be an attorney, U.S. attorney.
Dive into it. I mean, a little bit about prostate cancer. It is the number one cancer that is affected by men in the United States. We estimate about 300,000 new cases every year. There's different types of prostate cancer that are out there. President Biden just happened to have, unfortunately, be diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of it. And how we grade prostate cancer is based on this Gleason scoring system, which we have heard about, that everyone has heard about. And that is essentially how abnormal do these cells look like under the microscope. And just so we know that this Gleason score, the highest you can get is 10. And President Biden, Gleason score was a 9 out of 10 on that. And we know that his prostate cancer has metastasized, meaning that it has left his prostate and has spread to his bones. Without knowing the nuanced details of his diagnosis in terms of how many metastases there are, how much symptoms he's having, we can say that the mainstay of treatment is hormone therapy to reduce his testosterone levels.
Considering the high level of medical care available to him when he's president, he basically gets the CEO package, that I like to refer to it, almost on steroids, because you're the leader of the free world. You are constantly under medical supervision. Are you surprised that this wasn't found sooner? Or could this type of cancer be that aggressive that it really could have presented itself literally in the 4 months since he left office?
I think you bring up a great point, and it's something that we all wonder. But, the reason why I call a diagnosis like this rare is because of how strict the screening criteria is. We're screening patients, every 2 to 4 years. I will say that the AUA, which is the American Urologic Association, discusses, moving forward with screening recommendations past the age of 70, that it's a patient and physician discussion. I'm not, can't speculate as to what the discussions were at that point, but, it's definitely possible with the type of prostate cancer that he has.
Dr. Lee, could he ever be cured, or is it past that point?
That's a great question. I mean, at this point, when we say that the prostate cancer has metastasized out of his prostate, stage 4, it is not curable at this point. But there's been such advances in advanced prostate cancer and metastatic prostate cancer to really reduce the effects of testosterone, that the survival in patients like President Biden, like I said, can't speculate without his full medical details, but patients very similar to President Biden have lived on for many years after initiating their treatments.
We really appreciate your insight on this. I think we all learned a lot more about prostate cancer over the last 24 hours, and you certainly helped us.
And we're praying for the former president as well.
Dr. Randall Lee, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
There was a video that went for this 4 minutes. Hopefully you at least heard it too. Now you know what the radio listeners go through.
The FBI is pouring in resources to try to catch the 7 escaped inmates still on the run after breaking out of a New Orleans prison. Authorities warn some of those criminals might have left Louisiana. Officials are urging the public to remain alert. Caroline Elliott is live with the latest on that case. Caroline.
Well, John, the Louisiana Attorney General says that state officials have reached out to neighboring states saying these missing inmates could be, quote, frankly, anywhere, as it's now been 3 days since those 10 inmates busted out of jail in New Orleans. Law enforcement quickly captured 3 of the missing inmates on Friday, but there's been no additional arrests announced over
Probably the ones in all orange.
The state's top attorney also described the jailbreak as unacceptable and says local officials waited too long to let the public know.
Here, they've had a lot of lead time, which is very concerning. Look, I've got a lot of questions. I don't have all the answers yet.
The escape happened on Friday morning just after 1 a.m., but jail staff didn't even realize the inmates were missing until a head count almost 8 hours later. The Orleans Parish Sheriff says there's no doubt in her mind that this was an inside job.
This is very suspicious. We know that they had help. We're showing you they had help. This was coordinated. There's much more than meets the eye.
As of this afternoon, authorities are still searching for these 7 inmates, and those missing include suspects charged with murder and other violent crimes. The FBI and ATF are also offering a $5,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. Meantime, we are expecting more information and an update from investigators in the next hour. John.
Scary times in that part of the country. Caroline Elliott, thank you.
All right. Well, there's that little extra
We continue to follow the breaking news on former President Joe Biden's aggressive prostate cancer diagnosis. The office of the 82-year-old former commander-in-chief issued a statement today saying, in part, quote, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasis to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. And the president and his family are reviewing treatment options with his physicians. Let's bring in Fox News medical contributor and board-certified radiologist, Dr. Nicole Saphier. Doctor, you deal with cancer on a daily basis. What's your take on what the doctors have told us? Granted, you haven't been able to see the imaging or the test results, but based on what we've heard so far, give us your top line and what you see happening here with President Joe Biden.
Well, of course, my heart goes out to former President Biden and his entire family. Anyone who hears the word cancer, it is devastating, especially when you have a son who has passed from cancer. I'm sure this triggered a lot of emotion in President Biden. So what we know so far is not a lot of information, but what the family has told us is that he has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. They said that it is metastasized to his bone. So let's kind of break down what prostate cancer is. It's very similar to breast cancer, which I deal with on a day-to-day. It's not one size fits all. It's not very black and white. There are many different types, and they act very differently, and you treat them very differently. So the information that we have about former President Biden's cancer is that it is a Gleason score of 9. Now, the Gleason is scored from 2 to 10, 10 being the most aggressive, meaning it grows the fastest. It has the highest risk of it metastasizing outside of the prostate gland. So 9, we would consider very aggressive, meaning it's very fast moving. You look at this by when you do a biopsy of the prostate, you base this score on what you see under the microscope, how quickly those cells are dividing, how many cells are actually there. So they've given him a Gleason score of 9. And the other information that they have told us is that it is already metastasized to the bone, which, as we know, this is stage 4. So when you talk about prostate cancer, it can be local, meaning it is confined to the prostate. The prostate is encapsulated. So that is the best case scenario when the cancer is actually confined to the prostate, still within the capsule. It can have local spread, meaning it has gone through the capsule. Sometimes it's just gone into the surrounding fascia, into the local regional lymph nodes, or in President Biden's case, it has gone to his bone. So again, stage 4. Now, when we talk about prostate cancer, the survivability for the most part, it can be 100% at 5 years if it's caught early. When it goes to stage 4, especially if it's more aggressive, that 5-year survivability is significantly decreased with numbers less than 35%. Every case is different. As I said, not 2 cases are exactly the same. But the one good thing that they did mention about President Biden's case is that it is hormone sensitive. So there is a way to actually treat this, either surgically or through medications, where you actually give him anti-androgen therapy to kind of stop the testosterone, because his particular tumor needs testosterone and these androgens, these other hormones, to grow. So by stopping them, that's a way to manage disease. And I know when people hear stage 4, they get very nervous. Obviously, that is worst case scenario when you're talking about cancer. But we have so many treatments these days that you can actually live for quite a long time with stage 4 cancers. And it sounds, again, like in his case,
that's good
because
to know.
It is hormone sensitive, there are treatment methods. It's never going to cure him. He's never not going to have stage 4 cancer, but he could get to the point where he has no evidence of disease or no progression of disease. And at this point, that's what our goal is.
Dr. Saphier, you work at one of the best cancer.
Well, there you go. It's Dr. Saphier on the Weekend Show. All right, so that was already the weekend. So that's good news. The first time I heard about this was on somebody's incredibly inappropriate. Oh, there's Jason Chavez. The guy on the left is from Utah. He's a former senator, I think. His biggest thing was he applied to the Secret Service and got turned down. I know what that's like. I just also know what it's like to keep going. All right, so trying to pause that. There we go. So there we go. There's the update on former President Biden's cancer. Not necessarily as bad as what we might have been thinking. We got a minute. I'm talking with Sportcat on Facebook Messenger. And he says he's on. So don't forget, hashtag fight hypocrisy. Hashtag 8647. Don't forget to include that you're not inciting violence. You're telling these people that are supposedly defending the Constitution to do just that. But I am going to start wrapping up. Oh, I never did any plugs either. Show you where everybody's going to be. He's not, he didn't jump in with me today, so I don't know what. Okay, I'm going to kill the radio feed. Sportcat's up next with Sportcat's Daily Gazette. Stand by. He'll be right here. And just have a good show. Okay, gang. For those of you that's left, just a recap. You're already on video, but you can go to mastiff.media and just scroll down onto the homepage, and there it is, video of the show. That's also available at yergs.com with audio available 24/7 at yergs.radio, among others. righttalk.radio, forward.radio. Both of those are coming soon. I think Right Talk might be the Yergs radio feed. Yeah, it is. And I got to figure out how to do that with Forward. Rainbow Radio, Sports Talk. Like I said, we'll be branding that soon enough. And I think that's it. I think 5 stations is good. We missed Jane today. That's my fault. 100% my fault. I didn't get a messenger yesterday. I didn't get to message her this morning like I wanted to. And I just kind of figured, oh, she'll join. And I don't blame her for not. That's, again, if you want to chew me out for missing her, send me a message, news@yergs.com. If you want to reach her, you can do that, although she has given us this address, Jane E. Stahl at Comcast.net. Reach out to her, say, sorry we missed you. Not your fault. Yergs is an idiot. Matt at dailycryptonews.net. He's with me every Friday. He's also the host of the Daily Crypto News. You can get more from him by going to dailycryptonews.net. Jane's also the co-editor of the Boyertown Area Expression. You can get that at Boyertown Area Expression.town.news. She's also the manager at Studio B Art Gallery in our hometown. Studio BBB3Bs.org. The Capital Switchboard is 202-224-3121. Call your senators. Call your congressman. Tell them 8647. The Sea Ranch Civic Association, available to those of you on the Nature Coast of Florida and the northern part of the Tampa Bay. Go to mysrca.com to sign up and become a member. And that's good. Oh, Joseph Soul, The Broken Mirror of Memories, Iraq and Other Tales. He'll be on Coast to Coast AM the 29th of May at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. That's right, when we get off the air. So in 10 days from now. That's when, actually. Let me see. Pull up a handy-dandy calendar. Okay. 29th is a Thursday. We'll put that create event. SOEL. Goes to cast. AM. And that's at 1. We'll say that's to 2, I guess. Description, podcast that is live, then RSS feed. And I'll have to figure out how to put an alarm on that at some point. Oh, this is still till 12. We used to be on only 1 hour on Thursdays. Options, print, duplicate. Can I edit this? Hey, edit on there. What the hell? What the shit? Why can't I edit something on my own damn... Oh. One? No, it doesn't let me edit. This sucks. I right click on it. Nothing happens. Oh, why do these things are like this? How can you not edit something? Print, duplicate, copy to... I am Ross Yerger. What the hell? Why am I not able to edit something on my own damn calendar? Appointment schedule, that's a premium thing. I don't have premium. Left one does that. Right one does nothing. That sucks. Well, anyway, I'm not going to sit here all day. I got a call in 25 minutes with David Beckmeyer from Outrage Overload. We're talking to discuss a bunch of different things. And then I noticed this, by the way, because this starts at 1 Eastern. I get off at 1 Eastern, but this line didn't come. This brown is for my show up the middle. I don't know. Do I got to go back to like a previous one? I go back to this coming Thursday. Print, duplicate. Well, there's a print, search, open and reading mode. Yeah, I don't want to read. I want to edit. That's weird. That is so weird. Anyway, I got stuff to do. I got to work. Get to work. I've got a call in 20 minutes, and then I got another one after that. Busy day. Mastiff.media is now open. Right.talk.radio is launched. Forward.radio is launched. Both soft launches, but you can now get them at the tab for Mastiff.media. All over here in our stations tab. That's everything that we got. Sports Talk is coming soon. RainbowRadio.gay is operational and has been. Actually, the programming is still we're still working on that. But the bottom three are live when we're live, but we're still working on some programming. Which reminds me, if you have a show or a podcast or anything that you think might be good for any or all of these stations, let me know by writing news, NEWZ, at yergz.com, YERGZ.com. There's another one you can do. I'll get them both. The team will get them both on air at yergzradio.com. Is specific for things like that, but news will get it too. Doesn't matter. Hope to hear from you. Thanks for getting off the porch and running with the big dogs. You've gone up the middle. I will see you tomorrow.